right, it's your man Brett from the Skateboarding Show, here with more philosophy and intellectual pieces for the audio podcast and pieces to camera. If you're liking what you're hearing or seeing, then please do subscribe so you don't miss any, because that's what I'm supposed to say here on these social media channels. And if you think anybody else would like to hear my ramblings, then please do share my videos out and let people know about them, and see if anybody else can tolerate listening to me for 10 minutes or so. Right, today's point for discussion is something that might appear hypocritical. Remember, anything I put forward, I'm not necessarily advocating or saying that you have to agree with it, or that you have to do it, or that that is the way the world is. But today is certainly a question that I'm asking, yeah, I'm interested in what people may or may not make of this. So my question is, and it's a literal and metaphorical, it's a literal question out there that I want to put out there for people to answer. And it's I'm sort of intellectually asking the question for us to think about things and to percolate these things in our mind. Okay, does there exist really good, high-level, high-ability skateboarders who have shunned the commercial world and who have not accepted invites to be pro and or don't receive any product for free by getting sponsored? Is there anybody out there who's really, really good at skateboarding, but skates in like a non-branded tracksuit or jeans and a t-shirt, and non-branded imitation skate trainers? Like we've all seen many different, like Asda do a imitation skate trainer that's not branded. You could go and buy a Primark tracksuit for like £12. Is there such an idea? Well, there's the idea, sorry. Is there such a reality? Is there a reality of, does anybody know anybody really, really good, not retired? And even then, there's only been a few cases of it. You know, Heath Kirchart made sure that he retired at his peak. I heard him talk about that recently from his own understanding, from his own mouth, talk about he wanted to retire when he was really good, so that he didn't just like slowly fade out, but just went, I'm done, see you all later, bye. All right. And I know sort of Hawk retired from competition. Okay, but my question is, is there any really good skateboarder, really, really good, like pro level good, who isn't a pro, who has chosen not to receive money from a brand, who chooses not to ride in branded clothing, who chooses to buy a skateboard and sand off the graphic from the bottom so you don't know what brand it is, who sands off the graphics from the wheels so you don't know what brand the wheels are? Is there anybody out there doing that? And if the idea of that happening is really confusing for you, then I wonder how entrenched in brands and in reward for ability that we are. See, in a skateboard culture, in a culture where people go on and on about skateboarding is fun, skateboarding is about having fun, then why do we reward ability so much? Why is there nobody out there high level doing it for fun and going, no, you're right, thanks, I'll buy my own kit, like I'll just go and do my job, my other job that's nothing to do with skateboarding, and I will skateboard in the evenings and the weekends, and I'll just buy my own kit and I'll buy my own clothes, and they're not skate branded clothes because I don't care about the brands to do with skateboarding. I care about skateboarding, because that's one of the points I want to talk about, potentially, the difference between skateboarding and the brands. And there is a difference between the act of skateboarding. Skateboarding is fun is a really naive point of view. It just is. It just is a naive point of view. Skateboarding is fun is a great marketing tool to get new beginner skateboarders into, or to get new people into skateboarding. Okay. The act of skateboarding has got very little to do with the brands that exist in skateboarding. And I know, what are you even talking about? You need the brands to make the product. I know you need the brands to make the product. But funny enough, there's no brands out there that make just, there are brands out there that make just boards, and they only exist because they then sell them to companies that brand them. So there are companies that make boards, blank boards, but they don't sell them to end users. And they don't sell them to end users because the industry doesn't like that. The industry doesn't want that because everybody can make money off a branded product. We could easily go to one of these wood workshops and buy 20 boards with no graphic on, and that wouldn't affect your ability to do skateboarding in any way. It wouldn't affect your ability to have fun, would it? You could easily go to, I mean, wheels are slightly different. I think some brands do actually make their own wheels. Some brands buy wheels in from other brands and, again, brand them up and label them up themselves. Okay? A branded wheel is not any more or less round than that original wheel before it had a brand screened onto it and printed onto it. So that this connection between brand and the act of skateboarding is so entrenched that people like if your reaction to my question of is there anybody really good out there who's just skating in like a Primark tracksuit and non-branded shoes and sanded the graphic off their board and sanded the graphic off their wheels so you don't know what brand it is they're riding, if your reaction to that question is what are you talking about, then you're really also entrenched in that idea of the connection between brand and activity. Okay, and the activity of skateboarding is not as connected to the brands of skateboarding as maybe it would look, you know, like if brands weren't, if the act of skateboarding and the culture of skateboarding wasn't so entrenched in brands, then we would have people, really good ability people out doing skateboarding, not wearing and not using branded kit. They'd be using blank kit that you don't know anything about. Kit where they've just gone and bought wholesale boards cheap because they've got no graphic on and they don't belong to a brand. Right? But that, so far as I know, that doesn't happen in skateboard culture. Right? So then that's really confusing for me about everyone's going on about skateboarding's fun. Skateboarding seems pretty damn brand orientated to me. And before any roadman get on and go, bro, standing there wearing a Decimal hoodie and a TR7. Like, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm pointing it out. I'm asking about some of the contradictions and some of the hypocrisy in skateboarding. I'm asking about, can you see this? Can you see this? Can you see that it's interesting that there's a sort of weird contradiction that we have it rammed down our throats that skateboarding's fun by the brands that want you to buy their brand? Yeah. Paying somebody and giving somebody free stuff that's branded seems a little bit like a sort of a sport. It's got a kind of sport element to it, doesn't it? It's not really like it, because it's about achievement. You get really good and you achieve getting free stuff, as opposed to get really good and you're just really good at it. That's it. That's all there is. If skateboarding is fun and is artistic, then being really good at it should just equal being really good at it. Being really good at it and getting free stuff is great marketing for brands. Don't ever forget that. Don't get me wrong, like I say, I'm just pointing it out. Battery's going on my recorder thing. I'm just pointing it out. I've got plenty of love for pro and sponsored skateboarders. But if your answer to my question as to why is there not really good skateboarders out there who are using unbranded kit, if your answer is, well, it's always been that way, then open your mind a little bit. Open your mind to this idea of, if it's really supposed to be an art form, where are the people who are really good at it and doing it just because they're really good at it, as opposed to doing it because it happens to bring them some money or some free kit. I'm not saying sponsored and pro skateboarders only do it because they're getting free kit or money. I'm asking, where's the counter to that? Where's the opposite of that? Where's the people who are really good and who have said no to the free kit and the money and have said, no, I just do skateboarding because I love it and because it's fun. I just happen to be really good at it. I don't want to represent your brand, thank you. I just want to do whatever it is I'm doing. Where are those people? Does that exist? Can you conceptualize what I'm trying to say about the connection between reward for ability being highly connected to industry and brand rather than it being connected to the activity of skateboarding? The activity of skateboarding doesn't give you any reward apart from the reward of the pleasure that you get yourself from being good at skateboarding, which might well be a whole shed load of fun. I appreciate that one might need a little bit more decoding and deconstructing, but and I appreciate that I wear branded stuff. I wear that I buy because my ability is nowhere near the place where I'm getting anything free. Nowhere near. Right. As always, thank you for. I'm keeping an eye on this recording thing on the video. You can see because the batteries are going. But anyway, thank you very much for listening, and I'll speak to you all soon. Cheers. Bye bye.